I'm super excited today that Donna Joe Curtis is joining me on this conversation about her career and experience in the beef and forage industry. I'm really excited that you were able to do this interview. And just to start off, I wanted to ask you about your background and where you're from. Any previous information that you'd like to share?
Okay. I grew up on a farm. I have one brother, and actually, where I grew up is about 2 miles from where I live now. And my brother
Mhm.
actually lives at the home place. So,
Awesome.
my dad was he was progressive, and he was one that when I was growing up, that did not treat me any different than my brother. In
Mhm.
fact, that's one of the things I can remember when I was like or 13. Made good grades, and my brother, he just managed to do enough to get by. He could have done
Mhm.
better, but he did not, really want to.
Mhm.
And so my dad would keep me out of school to let me desk and do things for him,
Mhm.
and make my brother go to school because of his grades.
Sure.
And then I went to Middle Tennessee State University. I have a
Mhm.
degree in animal science with a minor in secondary education, and I actually worked for Monsanto in the fertilizer end for a couple of years, and
Mhm.
then moved back home and married, and we have our own farm now. But I just think my dad was the push for me in that. He did not want me to be dependent on anybody to be able to
Mhm.
do, and I'm just very faithful in that. I just think, God tells us that whatever you do, to do the best that you can, and so
Mhm.
that's just kind of how I've ended up being in the farming industry. So
Uh-huh.
I love animals and just being outside, and so that's
Mhm. So, do you think that because of how you grew up, that's how you decided to go for that major on your bachelor?
yes, I do, I do.
Okay.
Um, and just I just like to preserve. I want the farm to be home to my kids and
Mhm.
sort of thing. And so I just feel like if you want it done, then you should do it yourself, not depend on
Sure.
somebody else. So
Mhm. How long did you work for Monsanto, Donna?
just a couple of years, about 2 years.
Uh-huh. And then you said that you started to work on your own farm, right? After that, and you've been doing that for as long as you are. So, did you notice changes on the woman leadership from the people that you're around and interacting over time? How do you think that that has been changing, if changes at all?
Oh, it has. You know, Used to there really wasn't very many women
Mm-hmm.
that in our area that especially like driving track, you just a whole lot of that, but you do
Mm-hmm.
now. You see a good bit of that now. That where a lot of times the man actually has a off farm job and the woman does the things at home, and that's really what we ended up doing. My husband's the manager of the co-op here, and so in their busy seasons, also our busy season. So
Sure.
it's kind of um, it's been my job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of these that makes a list of what I want to accomplish that day and try to check it off
Mm-hmm.
and prioritize if I don't get it done, what goes to the top of the list for the next day and that sort of thing. So
Sure. And you mentioned that your father had a big role on teaching you how to manage and just work around the farm. Did you also have any woman as role models when you were growing up, or after that, or as mentors?
well, I mean, my mom always helped my dad too. I mean, they
Sure.
were side by side, and that was the main ones really. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can remember in high school having a couple teachers that just were always were like, you can do whatever you set your mind to. And so
Mhm.
just the love of the outdoors and like I say, just I'm thankful that I've been was close to home and around with my parents as they aged before they passed away and that
Mhm.
sort of thing. So that was a main thing, just family.
That's awesome. And what has been the most precious advice you received from someone?
Well, just whatever you do the best you can. If you're gonna
Mhm.
do it, that the old saying is, it takes just as long to do the halfway as to do it the right way. So
Yeah.
that's just, to me, if you're gonna do it, just do it right to begin with, and then you don't have to go back and redo it. So
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, that's definitely the most important for sure. Just put 100% of yourself, right, in everything. What about the most rewarding experience of your career so far? What do you think was it?
well, I think as a woman, just women and men look,
Mhm.
I was president of the Alabama Cattlemen's Association, the state association, and that was very rewarding. I've been
Mhm.
inducted into the Alabama Livestock Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Your peers to nominate and elect you to do things that has been very
Sure.
rewarding. And another, I mean, just in our area, the what we sell our calves on the video with Tennessee Live, well, United Producers now, but
Mhm.
to have other farmers to call me and ask me how I do things and ask for my recommendations on things is
Mhm.
rewarding to me.
Mhm. That's awesome. And what would be a message you'd like to leave or a final consideration
If
for
it's
those who are watching this?
if it's what you want, if you set your mind to it, just do a good job and do the best you can, and the rewards will come. Other
Mhm.
people will see the good that you do,
Mhm.
as long as you do the right thing.
Yes, that's awesome. I really enjoyed this conversation, and just to